Hi, this is Anna Imagination with a Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. This is a topic that I have been putting off for like a week now. It's been brewing in my mind, and the more I get to it, the more I'm like, all right, I can't wait till tomorrow. I've got to talk about it. The masculine and the feminine are absolutely patriarchy labels. They are words that absolutely put the masculine energy and the feminine energy into labels. And it comes from the mindset that a boy has to be strong and a girl has to be weak. And that shit comes from the fourth perspective. What they're actually trying to say, what was the way of it at one point, is a protector energy and a nurturer energy. This was very, very common among the Vikings around Scandinavia. In fact, this is very common among a lot of matriarchy systems. And I'm going to be referencing a lot with Old Norse for this because Old Norse really does a phenomenal job. Old Norse is the language. I need to change that. The Scandinavians, ancient Scandinavia, was really renowned for getting this spot on. Masculine and feminine energy is 100% the church, the Western culture, the patriarchy, basically putting people into boxes to make sure it was understood that the men had the power and the woman had the nurturing, that a man could not nurture and a woman could not protect. And again, in Scandinavia, this was not the case. So I'm going to go completely off. Like my observation is this. I spend a lot of my time in the LGBTQ community. My favorite place in the world, aside from Central Park, is Greenwich Village. I love Greenwich Village. I am a huge, huge Freddie Mercury fan, and Freddie Mercury is a fantastic example of it. Freddie Mercury was absolutely about the nurturing energy. Oh my God, was he? He was very much a nurturer energy. Now, when you step into the wonderful world of BDSM, and this is it really, between the information I saw with BDSM, the information I saw with the LGBTQ, I'm looking at it going, okay, sorry, not sorry, but the boxes of masculine and feminine that have been put out there by the patriarchy do not fit a lot of people. And I cannot explain to you enough how submerged into the BDSM community I've been my whole life, so that all of the masculine feminine energy is fucking bullshit. And here's why. It's really the BDSM community that really cinched this for me. Yeah, I need to just, yeah. So I am 4'11". That's right. I'm not even 5 foot, and I weigh 94 pounds. And I am a BDSM mistress. Now, you get outside of the lifestyle, and I have a lot of fourth perspectives arguing with me about this because it contradicts their box. They make a rule: all girls have to be weak and submissive, and all boys have to be strong and dominant. That's the rule. So anytime anyone comes along and they contradict that rule, the fourth perspective goes, ah, and they make a lot of noise. And that is really the sum of it. The fourth perspective makes a lot of really bullshit black and white trauma-based rules. And the minute anyone comes along and contradicts that, the fourth perspective becomes abusive because they don't like dichotomy. Bottom line, dichotomy does not make sense to them. And so they have to have control by making sure everyone follows the rules. And to make sure everyone follows the rules, there are labels for everything and boxes for everything. And girls have to be on one side, boys have to be on the other. And that 100% encompasses that control trauma mindset of the fourth perspective. So now, to make themselves feel safe, they're cramming a whole lot of people into their little boxes. Except when you get into the wonderful world of BDSM, this throws everything out. When you get into Greenwich Village, It throws everything out. When you get into the world of LGBTQIA, it throws everything out. Suddenly, the fourth perspective bullshit does not apply. The rules cannot exist. That is why they abuse nonconformists, is because nonconformists contradict them. So this is one of the most common things I saw in the BDSM community. And this is really what allowed me the ability to articulate that we are talking about protector knowledge versus protective energy versus nurturer energy. First of all, everyone has this protector nurturer inside of them, and it's in a ratio. My ratio is 80 to 90%. I would say 85% protector, and I am about 15% nurturer. Bottom line, that's my ratio. That is me. I am more protector than I am nurturer. I have always been this way. And that is unacceptable to the fourth perspective, especially because I'm a 94-pound, 4'11" woman. Now, I can't contain what I am. So I'm a leader. I don't follow. I create my own shit. And if you put me in a setting, this is my favorite quality about me. If you put me in a setting, I will lead. And if you don't let me lead, that's okay. I will be going my own way. And if you want me to follow, that's not going to happen. I can't. I'm going to go my way solo, or I'm going to lead people. Those are your options. And I have been this way my whole life. My option is I have to go ahead and carve out my own path. I cannot follow the path of others laid out before me. People scream my whole life, Anna, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Yes, but I do. I have to. I can't not do it because I am a protector, because it's in my brain, because this is what I do, because I'm dominant. Period. Now, it's a ratio. I have to get X amount of protector energy out of me every day, or else I suffer. Now, I do not have a high nurturing standard. In fact, I don't have any. Like I said, it's 15%, if it's even that. It fluctuates. So some days it's like 5%. Other days it might come up to 20%, but it never goes past 20%. I would say on average it exists between 10 and 15%. My nurturing energy is really low. Now, this is going to mean one of three things. This is going to affect one of three things. The first thing it affects is the type of job I get, the type of career I get, the type of job and role in society I pursue. So for me, every time I am in a very dominated role of I have to be in charge, my need for BDSM is almost non-existent. I don't need to dominate anyone over there. I don't need to dabble in my shadow self because my ego is already in charge and it's balanced and it is feeding my protector energy, and I'm happy. If I am taking a job where I have to follow the rules and be a 9 to 5 and I have a manager, that is going to lower my protector energy and increase my nurturer energy. And suddenly I need a lot of BDSM to reestablish my protection. I need to dabble in the arts and I need to pull out my shadow self more to compensate for the shift in my protector energy to nurturing energy. Holy shit, I see this all the time in BDSM. The 99% of the people who came to me for submissions were submissives and nurturers who were being forced in a position of power. So they sought out a mistress to be controlled because they required the nurturer energy to be returned to them. When they had it satisfied and placated, they went away. But when they were at their most stress with responsibility and power and protection, that need for the other energy increased because they were out of balance. Likewise, the people who sought out powerful roles in BDSM were the people who were naturally submissives in life. Not naturally submissives, but those were the roles they were taking on. So it's very common to see janitors and very tiny little women being put in this role of mistress or master in that kind of environment. In fact, that is something I used as a red flag. If you had a powerful man, for example, if you had someone of power at their day job and they sought out being a dominatrix with BDSM, oh, that's abuse. They are there for the wrong reasons. They have absolutely, they are seeking to control and manipulate other people because they're narcissistic and they are looking to abuse. They are not there for the energy balance. That's one of the things that I looked for every time I interviewed somebody that I was going to work with, is I was able to tell, what are you doing? Every single person said the same thing. Every single person who came to me was huge CEO executive, massive amount of responsibility, lawyer, doctor, owner of like 50 bars, and they wanted to be submissive. Or they were absolutely nobody during the day. They were a janitor. They were a stay-at-home wife. They were unemployed, and they wanted to be dominant. It was only the narcissistic, abusive faux doms who came and said, oh, I'm a dominatrix, and I'm a CEO of a company, and I'm a doctor, and I want to dominate you. Okay, you are just on a power trip. This isn't about correcting the balance. This is a power trip for you. So that was a huge red flag for me whenever I saw someone come in. That's a huge fucking red flag. Yeah, most people could not get through my screening process whenever I took on a new sub. So it's very much a protector and nurturing energy and making sure that that's balanced. So you have your career, you have your job, you have the need for that imbalance with BDSM. And you also have the psychology of basically your relationship of the ego to the shadow self. And once you understand where your protector and nurturer energy is, this is the third part where it comes into it, is you are almost always attracted to a partner who balances out your energy. So if you have, in my case, 85% protector energy, my partner is going to be required to have 85% nurturer energy, because you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen, because there's an imbalance. If he comes to me and he's got 85% or higher masculine energy or protector energy, I'm already tapped out with my protector energy. I have no nurturer energy. I have only 10, 15%. So in order to get my 10, 15%, I have to compensate. Basically, I have to find somebody to get it from, which is where sexual preferences come into place. This is why we are attracted to people with certain sexual energies, is because we are seeking out the imbalance, which is why you might be way up here with your protector energy, and that means your partner has to be high on the nurturer energy. And in point of fact, one of my friends, he is high on the protector energy. And we're fine as long as we're not close. We're cool. It's like talking to him is like being a comrade to him. And we talked about dating once. We talked about, would we ever go into a relationship? We get along, we have a lot in common, but there's like no attraction, none at all. And he said, oh no, you are way too masculine for me. He's like, he's fourth perspective, so he uses that word. But he's like, no, you are way too, no. He's like, I need my women to be more feminine. And he goes, you don't have any feminine energy in you. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't. I have like 10, 15%. But likewise, this is why I'm attracted to women. This is why I'm attracted to Freddie Mercury, very particular type of men. is because I require that balance of energy. We all do. And if you can't seek it out in your partner, you seek it out in your job, or you seek it out in your shadow self, which is where BDSM comes into it. So you've got this really awesome triangular theme that dictates why a person's attracted to a type of a person, why a person gravitates towards the shadow self with BDSM, why a person seeks out the job that they get. And if your masculine feminine energy, if your protector nurturer energy is not balanced, you are going to feel this massive ache, this massive emptiness, a void of, oh, I'm out of balance. I need to compensate for this energy. Nothing I hate more than when I'm reading sixth and second perspective bullshit about the masculine and feminine coming together. I read it this morning and it just pissed me off. And it made the comment, well, when you find your true self, the masculine, no matter how feminine no matter how masculine the feminine is, it will correct it and it will put her in a feminine balance, so she will assume the role of feminine to compensate. Fuck that bullshit. No, fuck no. That's not how it works. That is fourth perspective, black and white thinking, 100%, because they've got to have their little labels of all men are masculine and all women are feminine. Bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. I don't do that shit. It really pissed me off. Which is why I'm doing this video now, is to explain this is what feminine masculine energy actually is. It's nurturer and protector. It's not masculine, feminine. That shit is absolutely fourth perspective patriarchy bullshit, which was designed to take out the matriarchy. The reason why the patriarchy exists was because it was designed to destroy the matriarchy, and it did. On purpose. It was a marketing campaign to annihilate the patriarchy or the matriarchy. So every time you regurgitate masculine and feminine energy, you are actually nurturing that mindset that's destroying the matriarchy. It doesn't work that way. We don't fit in boxes. And if you think people do, go take a walk at Greenwich Village. Oh my God, go take a walk in Greenwich Village. Like the fact that the village even exists is a massive contradiction to all of the labels. It is the epitome of contradicting the fourth perspective. The fourth perspective is fucking wrong because Greenwich Village exists. If it were right, then the village would not be. Neither of the villages would be. Like, it's ridiculous. And I see it so many times again, every time I work in BDSM, every time I talk to anybody with BDSM, I'm going, oh my God, oh yeah. It's another person coming along who is out of balance with the protector energy. They've assumed the role of protector, and it doesn't matter if they're male or female. It does not matter. I had one woman who was my sub, and she was a German woman who owned her own company. She was CEO living in Germany, and she was submissive as fuck because her protective energy was so much higher at the day with her CEO office, and that she needed the counterbalance of, because she was in a role that absolutely imbalanced what she really was. She was a nurturer. She was a nurturer who was living as a CEO agent or as a CEO executive, but she was truly a nurturer. The shadow self is always who you truly are. The shadow self is always right. And you only seek out the shadow self when your ego is not living accordingly. The ego only lives accordingly to what the subconscious mind, the superego, tells it is safe to do, which means psychoanalyzing my gorgeous sub. She 100% was abused by basically power, so that in order to feel safe, she had to get a CEO executive job because she had a problem with failure, most likely. So she saw out success as a means to control to feel safe, and or she had a problem with not being wealthy. So either she had a problem with control, power, or being poor. So she sought out the most powerful, wealthy position she possibly could. And because she was naturally a nurturer, that threw out the imbalance. So she sought out BDSM as a means to basically tap out her nurturer energy so she could feel okay again. Because her trauma brain told her she had to be a CEO when she really didn't want to be. Yeah, masculine and feminine is bullshit. Now, likewise, I had another man, he was a doctor, and he did not know how to turn off. He did not know how to shut down. And in order to shut down, he had to engage in BDSM as a submissive. He saw out the nurture power. He never should have been a doctor. Again, he sought out to be a doctor because he sought out the power, he sought out the money, he sought out the control due to trauma. Or perspective abuse because mommy and daddy said he had to be a doctor. Very, very common for attorneys and doctors. Attorneys and doctors receive a lot of perspective abuse on the job. I would say 50% of the people who become doctors because mommy and daddy said so. Now you have perspective abuse. Now you have a nurturer who is being forced to take on the role of a doctor. And because they're taking on the role of this powerful position in doctor, it is throwing out their imbalance and they don't want it. Yeah, it's really fascinating. So BDSM, shadow self, basically provides this safe area for your shadow self to re-emphasize and nurture and live up to the shadow self, which is whether or not you are truly a nurturer or truly a protector. And once you have the balance, you don't need the BDSM. The desire for the BDSM goes away. Once you align yourself to your true calling, people who are nurturers need to be healers. They really need to be healers. But they need to be healers on a nurturing sense, not an intellectual sense. They are looking for more one-on-one. But if they have a problem and a trauma associated with people and being close and intimate with people, that's going to prevent them from being able to connect with people. It really, really messes them up. One day I will find somebody who is not messed up when it comes to being a doctor. Doctors are the most, it's extraordinary to see doctors because it's extraordinary. So many of them turn to BDSM. So, like every one of them had this massive kink all the way out, and every one of them had a psychological problem with control, had a problem with being forced into the job that they did not want to have, being forced to overachieve and pursue to seek mommy and daddy's desires without needing to, without wanting to do it. It was never an option. It's extraordinary to watch the abuse that goes on in the minds of doctors. So it's not masculine and feminine energy. It is actually protector and nurturer. A protector is it's not quite provider. And this is I was wondering about this for a while of whether or not it was provider versus nurturer, but it's really protector. It's making sure the household runs efficiently. It's making sure that everyone is in their proper place, ready where they need to be and safe. It's when you prioritize safety over anything else. And my brain is hardwired, is everybody safe? I cannot shut down and go to sleep at night unless I do a roll call on everyone I love to make sure, is everyone safe? Do I need to go anywhere to take care of anybody? And it's protector mindset. Whereas a nurturer, their idea of taking care of somebody is more comforting them. It's soothing them. I don't soothe. Oh my God, do I not soothe? I do not do any soothing. It's why I'm not a therapist. It's because therapists have to be nurturers. I don't do that. I don't. I'm more of a, let's go to war, let's secure the parameter, let's go get the pike and let's go do shit. And a great example of this is in the show Walking Dead with Andrea. Andrea was a protector. Andrea was 100% a protector, but they kept forcing her to be a nurturer. Oh my God, this is such an excellent example because everyone has seen Walking Dead. So two character things with Andrea that are going to make a lot. I should just psychoanalyze fiction because they did a really great job with it. So the first thing with Andrea is she okay. In the comic, in the manga, she's 15 years old. Yeah, she's 15. And when they changed her age in the show, they did not change her character's behavior. So if you rewatch Walking Dead with Andrea, watch it knowing that she's a 15-year-old kid in the manga. Now does she make sense? Yeah. When I got that information, I was like, oh, she's 15. Oh, this makes so much more sense. I plug it, the whole thing. So yeah, they took a 15-year-old character in the manga and they changed it to a 30-year-old woman but they didn't bother changing any of her behavior because the writers did not know the psychology of a 15-year-old's behavior versus a 30-year-old's. So it was actually really fucking sloppy writing, and the reason why they changed it was because Shane and Andrea hook up, do the math. And in the manga, that's the case. Do the math. So in the show, they were like, that's taboo. Let's not do that. So they made her older because of what happens between Shane and Andrea and the governor and Andrea. So they did not want this 15-year-old being involved sexually with all these older men in the show. So they purposely aged her up to 30 to bypass that. But when they did that, they did not alter her behavior because that would have changed the entire script. They wouldn't have been able to use the character. So the first thing you need to know about Andrea is she's 15 years old. That's the first thing. The second thing you need to know about Andrea is Andrea's a protector. She's not a nurturer. And the whole goddamn thing, they kept telling her, no, you got to be a nurturer. You got to do the laundry. You need to take care of all of this. You need to go be with the other woman. But she was a protector. She wanted a gun. She wanted her own. And when they controlled her and they told her no, she became aggressive because they were controlling her. Had she been allowed to be the protector that she was, she wouldn't have been so vindictive, rebellious, angry. And that's why she was put with so many of the women early on, was because she was a 15-year-old kid. Not because she was a woman, because she was 15. So they wanted the kids to all go over with the kids to protect the kids, which is why she kept getting isolated. But instead, the show turned it into a gender issue, just because I'm a woman. And no, it's because she was 15 years old. So they didn't feel a 15-year-old should have a gun. But Carl had a gun, so maybe it was a gender issue. I'll have to think about that. Maybe it was a gender issue. Either way, she was a protector. And they did tell her, no, you have to conform. You have to do what all the other nurturers are doing. And she was like, that's not who I am. So they were denying her identity. And when they were denying her identity, that's when she got angry because she became defensive, which is what was supposed to happen. But they kept dissing her. They kept putting her down. And then she got fucking stupid when she shot Daryl. And it just went on from there. It snowballed. And it got to the point where in order for her to maintain control, she didn't separate from the group on purpose. She just got lost. And then she ended up in the bad place with the governor. But yeah, she was absolutely a protector. 100% she was a protector. And they kept suppressing her and they would not allow her to embrace her nurture, or she was a protector and they would not allow her to embrace her true identity. And that's when she became rebellious. Yeah, I love psychoanalyzing Walking Dead. It's like one of my favorite shows to psychoanalyze. When the fictional characters end up right where they need to. I'm trying to think of any other examples. But really, Andrea is my favorite example. She is, once you understand that she's 15, now when I learned that she was 15, I can watch the show and tolerate her. Lori, no, we don't talk about Lori. That's just poor fucking mothering on so many levels. So much about Lori I can't stand. Lori is just bad parenting on so many levels. It was the line when she said, we can't let Carl live. What the fuck? What are you gonna do, kill him? Like when she wraps it around her head, when she gets this concept, my daughter is sending me notes. Carl got a gun after Andrea got a gun. Oh, ha ha! Good. Carl got the gun after Andrea got the gun and proved that she could handle it. Or he got the gun after level 45. Oh, after the level 4s were gone. Interesting. Oh, okay. All right. I need to do like a whole Walking Dead thing because I forgot I did that. Yeah. So, no, I know this is going to be another video because I totally psychoanalyzed Walking Dead at one point, and it's my favorite show to just pull apart. Oh my God. No, I can't not do it now. I have to psychoanalyze Walking Dead because it's such a fun show. And I'm watching Fear the Walking Dead now, and I'm watching Dead City. Of course, I'm watching Dead City. And it's not it's not there because the psychology isn't there. Now it's drama. And I'm like, no, 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 you got to get the psychology back because they fucking nailed it. So, yeah, so Carl got the gun after Andrea got the gun. So, if you think about, if you look at the manga, it's the 15, well, if we're going to give one kid the gun, we have to give all the kids the guns. So, that, there you go. That's the mentality. But yeah, she's absolutely a protector, 100%. Yeah, I got to do Walking Dead now. And yeah, I got to, it was the first, and I showed my daughter. I'm like, you see how this is happening here in this society, and this is what's going on over here. And when this finally happens over here, when they lose this, and this is when Rick takes this, it's just the whole thing is so much fun to psychoanalyze. Walking Dead is amazing because the writing is so fucking spot on with psychology, society, the fourth perspective, and then them going, oh, we need to abandon the fourth perspective and the psychology of conformity if we're going to survive this. All right. And at the prison, after Andrea dies, spoilers, Carl started teaching kids how to use weapons. Oh, Carol started teaching. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I could definitely see where once you shift the realization that Andrea is 15, the whole show changes. The whole first 3 seasons change. Yeah, I'm totally going to do like a let's analyze Walking Dead now. That's coming up next because I can't not do this because it's so much fucking fun. Thank you so much. And if you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want more shit like this, take a look at my amphitheater. Subscribe to my amphitheater for your self-care regimen every day. And if you cannot get enough shit like this, become a member of the Healing Garden and join Journey into the Self. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.